Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. John Tew, here today for the Sunflower Rev It Up program to tell you about what we're doing with the program to get matches for everyone so that we'll show you what is the exercise of the day for our team. But hopefully some of this will be applicable to people who have Parkinson's and other movement disorders. But first, I'd like to introduce my very special friend, Kathy Krumey, who I met first on a bike trail and a bike ride about 2004, when we were talking briefly about Parkinson's disease, and she introduced this wonderful concept, which I'm going to ask her to tell us a little bit about. Kathy?
Well, the idea was supposed to be just a wine tasting, but John always has bigger dreams, so it became a bike ride and a gala. And we engaged the help of Davis Finney, Tour de France stage winner and Olympian, and his wife, Connie Carpenter, also a gold medal Olympian. And we had a very successful result our first year, and for 16 more years.
And we're wearing today the jersey that Kathy designed for that very first ride, which was such a great celebration. Unfortunately, this year, we're not going to ride together. We're going to do it virtually. But even better, you can do whatever you want to celebrate and to participate. The website will tell you much more about that. But we're going to demonstrate for you today some of the things that I like to do as a very special part of trying to keep fit. And I want to share those with you because some of you may have movement disorders or other problems that we all need to deal with every day. So looking forward to doing that. But Kathy, thank you very much for coming with us and telling us about the history of the Parkinson Center, which later became the Gardner Neuroscience Institute because of the input that you and Davis Finney gave to bring research, clinical care, and research all together in one place. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Well, thank you, John. It was really your dream. And thank you for being part of our Movement Makers series. I think our participants will find it fun to work out with the brain surgeon. So let's get going.
Great. Thank you. See you there. So good morning again. Here we are, and we're going to do a program today called the Movement Maker, and it'll be a demonstration of something that I think is really important in my life. I'd like to introduce my colleague, Andrea Tutt. She is a colleague in that she is my mentor, coach, trainer, everything that does the work that stimulates me to maintain my health. And today we're going to share it with you because we think it will be so helpful with other people who may have movement disorders or Parkinson's or conditions like that. So Andrea is a super coach, mentor. Tell us what we're going to do today.
So we're going to focus on 4 different elements this morning. We're going to work with posture first. We'll demonstrate with John's excellent posture. We'll look at flexibility second, strength, the component of strength, and also of core. And we want to know that all 4 of those components are going to facilitate all ranges of movement as well as your cardiovascular and aerobic exercise. So let's get started. I'll have John turn around and face the other direction, and I'm going to demonstrate with his skeletal body here the uprightness of good posture. Now John is lifting up through the top of his head and rooting down through the base of his feet. He's drawn his skull backwards so that his ears are right over top of his shoulders. His ribs are over top of his pelvis, and his pelvis is over top of his legs. Okay? Another marker of a great posture, and a way you can utilize this at home, is to use a wall to help you reference this. So John can move against the wall next, lean against the wall. Now you have a tactile reference behind you to utilize the sense of the wall to make you feel, oh my goodness, how far am I away from this plumb line postural neutral? Excellent. So John will now come to the middle of this mat here. He's going to stand facing a chair. We all probably have a chair at home. So this is a wonderful way to wake up in the morning and begin some flexibility exercises.
This is what I call bathroom yoga.
He's going to hinge from his hip sockets and touch the top of the chair. It could also be a countertop, right? John's going to soften his knees and reach back even further through his pelvis. The optimum posture here is a flat back. So he's really feeling this perhaps through his back, certainly through his hamstrings. He's going to round his spine now, moving his pelvis forward towards the chair and begin to shift some weight downward into the chair top or counter. He'll roll his shoulders back and express his sternum forward, moving his skull back, and the spine goes into extension. Hinge back through the hip sockets, reaching through the sitting bones, finding length from hand all the way through the spine to the sitting bones. He's going to do this again for us, rounding and letting the hips move forward as the chest opens up brightly. We'll do one more time of this bathroom yoga as John described it. Backward through the pelvis, long through the spine, and then exhaling, tucking the tail under, move forward for me, and into that extension one more time, John. Excellent. Beautiful opening of the sternum. Hinge back. This is how you'll exit out of this to keep your spine really healthy. And then round your spine, soften your arms, soften your knees, and rise all the way up. John's going to step back next to the back portion of our mat that we have laid out. We're going to move swiftly into our strength component of our demonstration. He's going to reach down, softening the knees, and come all the way to the floor with his hands. You see that now through the frame. John's walking out to a plank position. We all know how strong planks make us, not only in our arms, but in our core. He's holding this plank. We can also lower the knees down if this feels too extreme for you. Yeah, he's showing us what that looks like. Wonderful. You're going to lift through the low belly here and feel that you've got lots of support through your core. John's got a great movement of his shoulder blades towards each other so that he's letting the arm bones go back into the socket. And you can see that his head is in line with his shoulders as well. Let's go ahead and straighten his legs again because that's how John practices really vigorously. You're going to bend your elbows and come into a push-up. Nice. Exhale to push it away. Let's do 3. That's already 2. He's working to keep that pelvis lifted. 3. Nicely done, John. And this time go all the way to the floor for me. All the way down. Excellent. Gorgeous. We're going to ask John to flip over on his back now. We're going to move into some core exercises. All right. Now I've brought a block for us today to use in between John's knees. You could use a book. You could use a ball, right? So there's lots of different ways you can experiment with this. So John, I'm going to place that between your knees. Lovely. He's brought his legs up into what's called tabletop position. That's when his feet are off the floor, the same height as his knees. He's placed his hands behind his head. He's ready to go. Exhale. You're going to lift your head and shoulders up for me, John. Good. Inhale. Release your head back down. When he does an abdominal flexion, he's working to draw the ribs together and down towards the floor. But here's what he's not doing. He's not moving these legs at all. And that's the trick here, is to use the core muscles and not the flexors at the front of your hip. If you find this difficult to feel, we can also have the feet on the floor. So go ahead and do that for me, John, here. That would be a nice entry point. Again, continue with the flexion of the spine and down, up and down. Many times we've come across abdominal flexion, but how you do it is really the way you're going to get the best results, okay? Let's do one more for me, John. Lift and hold. We're going to add an oblique twist. He's going to twist towards one direction and back to center and to the other direction. Another great way to be mindful of keeping the knees steady. So this is a rotational movement in the upper body only, not in the pelvis. He's doing a really great job. Nice, John. Let's do one more twist. Come back to center, release your head down. Excellent. I'll take the block away from the knees, and you can go ahead and flip back over onto your front. We're going to do one more set of exercises for you in strength building. John's going to come back to a plank position. And then He's going to walk his hands back towards his feet as he lifts his hips up in the air. Good, good. Lots of arm strength required here. John's going to soften his knees, and as he makes his way up to standing, he's going to place the hands on his thighs as a support system, one after the next, utilizing his legs to help bring himself up to tall standing. Now, John, if you would come over here, please.
Andrea, that's so important to be able to get down on the floor and get back up.
So
This is something that we really worked on. You've been such a big help in making me feel secure. If I fall or something, I'll be able to get back up.
So wonderful. Come here, John, so we can just see you a little better. He's so tall. It's difficult for us to keep him in the frame. Yeah, I agree. We spent a lot of time thinking about different strategies of getting down to the floor safely and getting back up off the floor safely. That's great.
What do we have here?
This is a tube of resistance. He's going to place that underneath his feet, but he has to be careful that he puts his feet right in the middle. One thing John taught me, which is I love all of the people I work with teach me so much, is that in order to be functional and get off the floor, we have to keep our arms really strong. He said that to me once, and I really kept that with me. So he's going to use this resistance, the handles that he's holding, to open his arms out to the side. Go ahead and show us that, John.
You probably all know this, but if you have knee disorders or hip disorders, you really got to keep your upper body strong in order to be able to get up and up off the floor, get down on the floor, and even get out of the bathtub. So that's why it's so important to practice these type of exercises. And I like these bands so much because they can go with you anywhere. They're very easy to use.
Very light. Resistance training has a lot of research behind it and great results. Now he's going to exhale as he lifts his arms and inhale to get taller. And here he's practicing that postural work that we started with. It's really excellent to see him utilize what we call transmission of weight bearing through his legs. Excellent. Bring your arms forward. We'll show you one last exercise. He's going to rotate his palms upward and bicep curl. Good. Inhale down. Now, keeping the shoulders back is an important feature, but also keeping a little bit of air space between the upper arm and the rib cage, so that you're not using your rib cage as a pivot point, but instead really relying on the upper arm. Wonderful. Excellent, John. Great work. Thank you all. That's what we have for you
Notice
today.
how little equipment that we're using here, so it's something that you can do at home or anywhere you go. So thank you all so much for allowing us to participate in this virtual program that will be helpful to you as much as it has been to us if you practice it every day. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.